All right, looks like everyone is in. Welcome, guys, to the Fast Twitter Space on Purse. I'm your host, Jamie, who is also a crypto YouTube content creator. This is a very special episode because it's not only the first one on Purse, it's also joined by our new host, Anthony. So, moving forward, you'll be seeing a lot more Anthony. So, please give him a warm welcome and Anthony, why don't you tell our listeners a bit about your background, who you are, so that they can get to know you?
Yeah, hello everyone. It's nice to be here. Like she said, my name's Anthony. I would say my interest in crypto kind of stemmed from my fascination with money, trading, and numbers. At the start of 14, I was selling World of Warcraft in-game gold, despite it being against the ULA rules. However, after about my 30th account ban and the change to those rules, allowing direct purchase from Blizzard for gold, I kind of had to pivot towards cryptocurrency. And so I've been in this space since 2015, and I've officially been a proud Pundian since 2018. And I think my goals with this space is to be a voice within the community and help us grow and learn together.
Well, that's great, Anthony. You're more an OG than I am, so I'm very excited to have you as one of our hosts. But, anyways, that's for Anthony, so make sure to give him a follow on Twitter. And since this is the first episode on Purse, we of course invited some very prominent guests, especially in the ERC404 area. Because, like if you are a pass holder, you could exchange for a pass box NFT if you hold 1 million pass tokens. But for now, why don't I let Anthony to introduce our first guest on this space? Anthony, would you please do the honor? I think you might have to unmute your mic first.
Oh, there we go. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, I can hear you perfectly.
Nice. Well, thank you. First, why don't we go ahead and invite Timson up if he could go ahead and give us a short introduction about himself.
Okay, thank you. Can you hear me? Okay.
Yes, we can.
Yeah, okay. GM guys, I'm Timson from Hong Kong, a content creator on YouTube specialized in trading meme coin and NFTs. And I'm building my own community and provide some alpha to the group. And for ERC 404, I've been an early supporter for ERC 404 because I believe it can change the NFT space because I'm an NFT lovers, and I think it can give some changes to the space, and we can talk about more later. Yeah, thank you.
Oh, yeah, I totally agree with that. And it's exciting to have another crypto YouTuber with us. I'll go ahead and move over to the Dune 404 team. If you can go ahead and give us an introduction about your project.
Yeah, thanks for having me. We're Dune 404. We're the first 404 project backed by Animoca Brands, and the second project to be an official partnership with Pandora, the first kind of ERC 404 to come out. And what we're trying to build is basically a community for 404 builders and collectors. We've had like a exclusive dinner at NFT NYC, and I'm flying to Dubai, and we're going to have another dinner there. And I see a lot of familiar faces in here. A lot of the projects are in the Telegram group. And fun fact, I met Gem Crypto just like 2 weeks ago at a Web3 for Women event in Hong Kong. So yeah, that's a brief intro about us.
All right, thanks a lot. Why don't I invite the next guest from the Pandora Finance team to give us a brief introduction? I think his name is Pushkar. I've already added you as a speaker. So if you want to unmute your mic and give us a brief introduction.
Hey, thank you so much for you know hosting us. I'll say thank you to everyone for jumping on the space. Yes, my name is Pushkar Vora, and I'm founder and CEO of Pandora Finance. With engineering background and years of experience in Web3. I started my entrepreneurial journey with Pandora Finance back in 2021. The primary aim is to induce liquidity into the NFT ecosystem for both the domains, digital world and real world asset side of things. So we are on, I'll say, front of innovation with two flagship products. One is Pandora, which is 404 indigenous marketplace, especially dedicated to this particular concept of liquidity. And the second is Economy, a real world asset marketplace. So we have made significant strides throughout, backed by a few heavyweight investors worldwide. And today I'm here to discuss about 404. So we just launched a week back and keeping up with the pace. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, well, thank you for being here with us. Our fourth guest will be ERC404 ecosystem. If you can give us an introduction.
Hey everyone, GM. My name is Benita, content leader at ERC404 Ecosystem. So at ERC404 Ecosystem, we aggregate the news, updates related to the 404 standard. Thank you for having me here.
All right, well, last but not least, we have Danny.
Right. Right. GM guys, thanks Anthony and Jamie. So my name is Danny. So I'm the co-contributors of Marjanx and Purse. So Purse is a so-called social fi and loyalty and slash ERC44 product. So what we want to do is we want to dive into use the leverage on the ERC44 technology and the creativeness to unleash the potential and liquidity of social fi and NFT, and hope to have a exciting discussion with all the guests and hosts. Thank you.
Great. It's lovely to have all these experts in the ERC404 area today. Well, me and Anthony have prepared lots of questions to ask our guests for their expertise. But just so we are on the same page, maybe we should start with the basic first. Perhaps I should ask our guests, like, what is ERC404 to them, and let them explain to our listeners. Why don't we start with Timson first, since he is the NFT influencer here. He does share multiple NFT trading content on his YouTube channel. So, Timson, I would like to ask you, what is ERC404 to you, and how is it different to ERC721?
Okay, thank you. So I will explain it in a very simple terms. So for me, ERC4 give us an asset to NFT. We have a chance now to buy NFT in fragment. What's that mean? Take an example like Bored Ape Yacht Club. With it all-time high is like about 100 Ethereum, right? Before that, we cannot own a part of a Bored Ape because you need to pay the full price of an NFT. But now ERC404 actually give us an opportunity for small investor. If you cannot afford the whole Bored Ape Yacht Club, you can now buy a part amount of this Bored Ape Yacht Club, and then now you can only take a small amount of money and then you can join the Bored Ape team. And if you own a certain amount of token, according to the contract, like if 10,000 ApeCoin equal to one Bored Ape Yacht Club, and then you hold the full NFT, and then this transformation gives us a lot of flexibility. You can choose to own a small amount of the project, or you can choose to own a full NFT. So this gives us a lot of imagination on how we deal with different assets, and it opened the gate to a lot of function, like you can stake your coins or you can stake your NFT, you can choose, and it's also opened the gate of NFT fund. Now you can you can leverage your NFT through the tokenization. So I think the overall concept for me is now small investor can join, can also give a chance to them to provide liquidity to the project. No matter how many money you have, you can still join the community or the project, because ERC404 give us the power to define the NFT or assets into small pieces for us to join. Yeah.
I think one of the biggest features for ERC404 is the fractional ownership. With that being said, perhaps the next question we could throw at Dune 404. It's kind of two questions in one here. How did you guys become the first project backed by, I'm going to mess this name up. What is it? Anamorca? I can't say that right.
Animoca?
Yep, that's correct. And how did you guys become responsible for the ERC404 marketplace?
Yeah, so our company got acquired by Animoca like 7 years ago. So we have a close relationship with them, and I think we all saw that 404 is like we feel like it's going to be the new meta, right? We missed out on the ordinals. I think the next wave is going to be 404. My hypothesis is that a year from now, one of the top 5 NFTs is going to be a 404, and that's how we got connected to Animoca. Actually, at our Dubai dinner, you're going to see some Animoca people, like Mohammed from the tokenomics team is there. We're really interested in actually like how the tokenomics of 404 is going to be completely different, right? It's really, really interesting thing to tackle. And then for the second part, actually, we didn't launch a marketplace. I don't know where that came from. So I'm just going to skip on that question. I don't know, or maybe you can clarify the question on that part.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe Jem can clarify that for us.
Oh, okay. I think we could skip this question because there are like a whole list of questions lined up already. But I'm
Okay.
hearing a lot of like benefits about ELC 404. Like Timson mentioned about fractionalization, like if you can't afford for or you not feeling paying like I don't know how much is a Bored Ape right now, but for a CryptoPunk it's about 70 ETH for JPEG. And if you just want to buy a small piece of that, 404 allows you to do this. But at the same time, this might get confused with the traditional fractionalization method or a DAO. So perhaps I should ask this question to the Pandora finance team for the expertise. Like, I wonder how you can explain to a typical NFT trader the difference between a DAO or ERC4 basically.
Sorry, can you please just repeat what you said last? The voice was breaking.
Oh, so the question is basically, what is the difference between the traditional method like a DAO or fractionalization to ERC404?
Okay. What I'll say here is like there can be misconceptions on around 404 collections and 404 tokens, especially in terms of fractional ownership. When you hear about fractional ownership, like you own the piece of CryptoPunk without buying the whole JPEG or whole NFT, and traditionally you own a simple fractional piece of that punk. Now it has technically it has its own implications and its own use cases. So what I'll say, it enhances the power of fractionalization, because user may not feel it the way we fractionalize a DAO or a traditional fractionalization method, as you say. And both are different perspectives, though. Traditional fractionalization is totally different thing, and DAO is totally different thing here. But let's talk about considering that the traditional fractionalization is what we are talking about. So 404 enables complete tokenization and fractionalization from the very start of the inception of the asset. In nutshell, it provides on record better user front, clearly immutable. I'll say the complete ownership of the 404, each fraction that one can own. So I'll say is 404 is something that allows everyone to focus purely on utility, owning the ownership of the collection, whatever is coming up, or the asset. Where in traditional fractional ownership, you create the asset first, and then move on with the further fractionalization of it. 404, these assets can roam around throughout the Web3 space, using all the infrastructure which is ready for ERC20 and can be used over here. But this may or may not be, as useful as in, existing fractional ownership structures out there. The utility of the 404s into the product that maybe we're going to embed in future products is going to be more fundamentally clear than the considered fractionalization method. So in a nutshell, what I'll say here is it may be very difficult to understand and let people understand on the user front, because technologically it's a lot of change, and it enhances a lot of power to existing crypto primitives. But same is not true with the fractionalization methods we earlier used to work out with. So yeah, this is what I will say. I'm sure it is a bit difficult to understand right now, but a lot is happening on the technical front. Yeah.
Great, I love that. Well, so since we have gone through the basic, why don't we talk about the use cases of the ERC404? Because I know there are a lot of use cases other than just, trading a JPEG. For one, let's talk about DeFi. And the next question, I would like to ask Danny, because he's running the Margin X platform. So perhaps I could pick your head on this. How do you see ERC404 fit in the whole DeFi world? Like, do you see it like enable new lending or borrowing protocols? Like, how do you see fit?
Right. So okay, so basically I think ERC404 has a lot of potential in terms of all the real world application. So not only on the DeFi but also on the what you call real world assets, and even for gaming, there are a lot of stuff. So I think before we dive into the what you call the usage or the utility on DeFi, I think one thing is very important is ERC404 actually unleash the liquidity side on NFT. So basically, like if you hold one NFT, then you just need, even like the previous guest mentioned, fractionalize the token. So with ERC404, you can actually put your tokens inside an MMM, like Uniswap, like PancakeSwap. So this thing can, like, go through. If you look at Blur, the trader on Blurs and on OpenSeas, you can see the trading volume between Uniswap and Blur. They are like 100 times difference. The reason being, I think one of the reason being is AMM is very simple and easy for people to understand, and it doesn't need a so-called a market maker on it. And with embracing the ERC404 standard, which can unleash so-called the liquidity on it, that people can actually trade it without like buying a whole NFT. So I think this is the basic concept. So go back to the DeFi cases. I mean, there are so many so many so-called I would say create innovations is just for example, so for lending, so even for real world assets. So what we're gonna do is we can tokenize a piece of land, for example, right? So you don't need to really own the whole piece of land, the whole 1 acres or few acres of land. So you can buy a piece of it and then use it to leverage or to collateral. But what's really important is how can you get the price oracle before you do the lending and borrowing. So this is always the pinpoint, or like the pain in the ass, saying that why an assets can be used for trading or lending or borrowing is because of the price oracle. So what we can actually envision that, so let's say this plot of land we fractionalize, or we give it like a 1 million token equals to one piece of land, for example. Then you can put 30% or 50% onto the Uniswap to provide the liquidity. Then the rest of the 50%, or even a good half, 20%, can use for the leveraging, the borrowing, the lending. So with this kind of stuff, right, then we can get the price oracle like very very fast and efficient. Unlike the traditional NFT lending, you can just use the floor price, or rather very skeptical 30 days TWAP, like time weighted average price, which is a bit skeptical. And then there's no liquidity, and I think furthermore is even Blur has their own bidding system, but that doesn't really reflect the real price, or rather the liquidity depth of the NFT itself. So I mean, the 404 can literally changing the lending and borrowing markets. I think this is because it can solve the price oracle issues and the liquidity issues. And the second thing is for the future of DeFi and lending, like I mentioned, there's real world assets as well, right? But I give you another example, like for gaming as well. So gaming, normally like users need to buy and sell the cards or whatever tools, whatever on the gaming side, right? But actually we can tokenize the gaming stuff as well as the collateral of the borrowing and the lending asset as well. So yeah, so main, because DeFi is like I keep mentioning, is you need to have a price, like a reliable price oracle, and then this ERC404 functions can provide that. So yeah, so that's I think I am speaking too much already, so I think I will pass it to the other guests. Yeah, thank you, Jamie.
Yeah, I think that's great because you mentioned about out of BA. There's the perfect segue to the next question. I actually want to ask Timson for your expertise because I saw you did a video about RWA and how ERC44 can combine. Maybe you can share a little bit of your perspective, how ERC44 see fit into, I don't know, like real estate or artwork or music or even movies.
Okay, sure. So let's talk more about the real world asset and ERC44. I think the fundamental size and the technology of ERC44 is very suitable for RWA asset because in real world we actually have some kind of treasury or some stock doing the same thing as ERC404, just they doing it through some iBank or some asset management firm. Just like in the past, we have some real estate bond or something. People just they want to invest in the housing market, but they don't want to actually buy a full house alone. So they can join this kind of security or the bond to join the market and to enjoy the growing market. So I think in crypto market, we have ERC44 to play these characters. So let's say we have a Rolex, okay? We love Rolex, okay? So we make it in as an NFT on the marketplace, and then people can use ERC or the team can use ERC44 to make it fashionization, and then small investor they don't want to actually own a Rolex. They just want to invest or just to flip it for quick profit, right? So they can join this kind of ERC4 for assets. And then I think this already a big example for out of A and ERC4 for combination. Yeah. So there's a lot of assets we can also do the same thing, like as you said, like an artwork, music. But I think music is more abstract. So let's talk more about the real physical things like housing, like some collectibles in real world, and then we can have a marketplace. And on top of it, and we can do more defined things, just like Danny said, we can use leverage. You can make some contract on it. So it's give us a lot of flexibility and imagination, so we can open the market, and the market will grow with this kind of tools generated by ERC404. Yeah.
Well, thank you for that. I was thinking maybe we could move on to Danny. I have a question for you. When it comes to the potential risks associated with ERC404, such as like market manipulation or fragmentation of ownership rights, what potential risks do you see there?
Okay, there are okay. So I think we need to clarify one thing. I personally don't think we should see ERC44 as the fractionalizations of a NFT or a thing. So I give you an example. Okay, so if we see that, right, then that will have a very huge issue. So for example, so I have a Pudgy penguin, let's say, right? So I fragmentize into 10 pieces. So which means that if someone gather these 10 pieces, right, then they will have this one part, they can claim or redeem this one Pudgy penguins, right? But the thing is that what if someone lost one of the pieces? Then the Pudgy penguin will forever will lost, right? Because it's fractionalized. So if I lost one piece, then it's not you cannot get the whole, or rather the true Pudgy penguin anymore. So for us, it's more like a I would use it to, this thing is ERC4 is more like a NFT, and or rather a so-called a tokenized, a retokenized thingy, because NFT is actually an token, right? So we try to mingle with the ERC20 token that can be traded openly on the market, and is and it's very easy for public to understand what's going on. So to answer your questions, the risk is if we keep going using the same fractionalized NFT concepts that I think pretty popular in 2020-21, then there will be one issue is no one will actually get the real token or the real underlying assets. So imagine, you the one piece of land, you cut into 1 million pieces, right? Then obviously there will be somehow somewhat like Bitcoin, that they will just forever lost it, like lost the private key or wherever got hacked, right? Then this thing, then we cannot claim the land or the piece of art or the piece of NFT anymore. So I think this is something we need to figure out, like how can we ensure that if what's going on, like in a probably on the smart contract level, on the protocol level, saying that if you have like 51% or even 70%, then you can really utilize it and then claim the ownership. But the rest of the tokens holder, for example, if I hold 60%, then I will, if I need to claim the 40%, then if I need to claim the whole NFT, or rather the land, the piece of land, the pledge, the collateral, whatever, I need to repay like in a certain amount of money to the rest of the 40%. I think that might be the solutions on the protocol level. So the risk is I think, like I said, is like the losing part of it, lost the private key, might lost the real thing like forever if we use the fractional concepts on it. Then I think the second thing is the price oracle as well. So if you want to use it for the DeFi, for rather the financial use, like for example collateral, we use I use a piece of land as an example as well. So like the piece of land somehow but like I mentioned just now, so with the model we can get the price oracle as well. But the thing is that when we really looked into it, or rather we need a team, or rather a new mechanics to so-called to maintain the liquidity and to the stability of the price oracle, or else it will be manipulated as well. But I think this issue can be solved when the market's getting bigger, and then more liquidity provider, more market maker coming in, and then to create a better market environment. So yeah, to answer your questions, this thing is fabulous. ERC404 is fabulous, and but there are some other protocol level stuff that, and or rather the market liquidity stuff that we need to figure out to ensure or to try to mitigate the risk. Right. Thank you, Anthony.
Nice. Thank you for that clarification. And I think that's what we hope to accomplish in these spaces, is us all coming together and pinpointing the true challenges with ERC404, since it's a new protocol. My next question, I will direct it towards Pandora Finance. How do you think existing NFT marketplaces and platforms will need to adapt to incorporate ERC404 functionalities?
Okay, thank you for this particular question, because what I feel is like as we created, the NFT marketplace for 404s when none of them existed. So it was a different kind of challenges that we faced on both fronts, technological and UI and UX, and defining, how the 404 marketplaces should look. And so I'll request everyone to go just check out, a marketplace and see how it works over there. It's easy. It's completely, you'll be able to understand the concept as whole. And it is really important to answer the question over here. It is really important for existing NFT infrastructures to also jump on 404, or included 404, utilities or functionalities, what I'll say. But to incorporate 404 functionality, the process includes both technical and conceptual shifts, frankly speaking. Technically, platforms must integrate new smart contracts that are unique to 404 once it's a standard. A lot of EIPs has been filed, though it's still not a standard. And it enables totally different kind of dynamics, stats, numbers that we users have to crunch before buying the collections, and at the same time, different kind of utilities also pop up over here. And so imagine it as that any crypto exchange, let it be Binance, is merged with OpenSea. Now you have to bring in utility of both. You have to bring in and give the features of both the ERC20 exchange and or at the same time ERC721 exchange. And you have to provide required numbers for the traders on both the front. It is pretty difficult. It is primarily very challenging, and to have that particular kind of shift, I think teams need to work on that conceptually a lot. Marketplaces has to rethink how they present their assets to users. It's simply not buying and selling of whole NFTs as whole. I mean to say, it though it provides the utility of liquidity and trading assets in a very easy manner. But I'm sure that it is very to bring that, to some next few 100 million users to this industry is definitely I'm looking forward with the help of 404. But to upgrade existing infrastructure or existing marketplaces to this ERC standard is definitely challenging, and it requires a completely new kind of approach to get it done, and it's not an easy job to do. But definitely, I'm sure like many major players in the industry are looking towards it. So as Keith Dune 404 is telling that we had a dinner at NFT NYC, and there were many major players thanks to Dune team, thanks to Keith. Those who are working on ERC404. So what I'll say here is yes, be ready. There are a lot of players existing big players who are jumping into the space, who are getting ready with it, and we are looking forward to it. But it's not an easy task. But we do require it, yes, for sure.
Well, I think that's kind of like crypto in general. A lot of things with crypto are complicated and can be hard, but eventually we get over that hurdle. It just takes time and community effort as well as other platforms and stuff. So we'll get there, I'm sure. So our next question, I'm going to direct that to Dune 404. What challenges do you see when it comes to mainstream adoption with this standard?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think just education, right? A lot of people are not familiar with 404. I think everyone here in the space is really early, and my hope is at least one of you after this Twitter Spaces gets inspired, because I think what Danny and Timson are saying is really good. Timson has provided a really clear explanation of what 404 is, and it's not easy to grasp when you're combining two things together. And Danny talked a lot about the technical side of like the applications of 404 on a more technical level, right? But I think it's basically education, right? And if you look at 6 months ago, ordinals wasn't like a huge thing, and now it's like 60-70% of the market, right? In terms of NFT volume, right? And I think the second trait that ordinals people have is they're all ordinal maxis, right? They love it so much that when you talk to them, it's all ordinals. They don't care about anything else. And I think 404 needs a bunch of maxis, right? We need a bunch of hardcore people who are really into 404s, and I believe that's already happening, right? Like everyone that's hearing about 404s for like 10 minutes, it clicks and they're in. And again, I predict in 6 months' time, a large percentage of the market is gonna look into 404s. But what does it take? My opinion actually takes three kind of like verticals to make this work. Number one, you need the builders, right? So there's builders building on 404 on Ethereum. There's Base, there's Blast, there's Polygon. 404s are going to come to all the chains. That's number one. But you need support, because the current marketplaces do not support 404s, right? Because it doesn't support the token side, right? A lot of complaint people have is, oh, why is there no volume on OpenSea and Blur? Well, you have $10 million volume on the token side, but they don't know how to check it, right? So a lot of marketplaces are actually, Pandora Finance is one of them, is providing a solution that is tailored for 404. So you need exchanges to properly adopt this. And, as Danny and Timson said, there's some NFT functions that a lot of marketplaces are thinking about, right? So all these fun things that you can do with the token NFTs are coming. So exchanges, and then the third part is you need people to educate the audience, right? And so you have influencers like Danny and Timson who are talking about this, talking about using 404s or real world assets, right? Like we need more people to write about it on crypto Twitter. So that's the community we have right now. We're collecting all these people. Hopefully, no, I saw Danny sign up for a dinner. I would love to speak to him in person, but get Timson in as well and gather everyone to actually just build this all together. And that's what we need for 404s.
Great. So we have touched on the challenges and the use cases, but I kind of want to circle back to what Danny said earlier, because you mentioned about the considerations. But I wonder how you see the future of ERC404, like any more functionalities that you wish to see in moving forward. Danny, are you there?
Yep, sorry, I just muted. Sorry, I just muted
Thanks.
myself. Sorry. So yeah, okay. First of all, I think I would like to agree with what Dune for said. Like is you actually pointed the what you call the bottleneck, I would say. So it's education, or rather, I mean, we, or rather, my philosophy is we believe in my deeply that 4.4 is the potential, right? It has the potential to unleash both NFTs and tokens, ERC20, because in my opinion, NFT is not just a Jetpack or PFE. It's just way beyond that. So I was legally trained. So I was always thinking, if what would the agreement or the contract I drafted can be executed through NFT functions. So for example, like a tenancy agreement, right? So once I sign it, this is a NFT. Then we can use the tokens, like for example, if I want to pay the utility fees or whatever fees or the stamp duty, I can, through the tokens, the NFT, the ERC404 token standard, to go to the authority to pay the tax or to renounce the ownership, everything. So I think this is much more than that, and the lending agreement as well. So I can pledge my houses, my real estate, and then I can pledge it to the bank. Then the bank can have the so-called my NFTs, and then, but in order to not to let the banks, or rather the lender, to do something, they can just run away with your property and NFT, right? So in order to not let them to do something evil, or try to prevent them to do something bad, then we can use the ERC404 standard. For example, we just give them like one piece of the token. So then with that piece of with that particular of tokens, right, they cannot do anything. It just they can claim that they have the ownership or part of the ownership of that, but they cannot transfer your tokens out to others places, and they cannot redeem the so-called agreement or the ownership of that piece of land or NFT. And then I think this is a very good segregations model. But at the same time, with this thing, with the tokens on their hand, they can be traded discounted. Like this thing, probably this piece of land is for example $50. So I give them like I produce 2 tokens, and then 1 token is like $50. So if the bankers or the lenders having some issues, then they can go through the open market and trade it at like $40 or even $35 for to have the extra liquidity. So we were actually seeing this kind of like innovations or creative things can be done on this ERC404 and NFT standards. But like I said, the thing is that this thing is very, very new, and it's a new concept, and it takes quite a fair bit of efforts and time to be educated, to be developed. Like I said, liquidity is one thing, the price oracle is one thing. Then how can we control the ERC for ownerships, and even the tender offer system, like I mentioned just now, is they're all question marks. So there are so many things that we want to tackle on the technical side, but I think the most important thing is we are just mingle or wandering around our own backyard. So the message or the new things, the new creative and innovation stuff cannot go outside of ERC404. So educations, I think, is very important. And yeah, so I mean, above all, these are the main thing that I think we should do it together. And then, despite some other people might say we have a different for like, yeah, there's the other standards called but in fact, I think we should sit down together and then try to grow the cake or the pie together. The bigger the pie, then the more attentions we get, then the more liquidity and the more builder that we can attract to the space.
Yes, I completely agree with what Danny just said. And let's not forget, we're still extremely early. So there's still a lot of room for feedback and constant improvement, and come on, that's the fun of crypto, right? To make us better. So we have talked about different perspective from a DeFi project point of view, from a marketplace as well. I mean, from other projects and also the protocol as well. I also want to direct the next question to the Pandora Finance team. So, Pushkar, I wonder how you see ERC404 impact the NFT landscape as a whole. Like, do you see one day eventually all ERC721 would just be ERC404, like an actual NFT mass adoption? What's your point of view?
I think a lot has been discussed through the veterans here, sitting over here. Thanks to Danny for explaining it really well. Thanks to Keith and Timson. Looking forward to them to catch up and to answer this particular question, Jam. What I'll say here is like ERC404 is not another crypto primitive. Now see the impact of the ERC20, what it has been when it came. It came back in like 2015, and now it is close to $1 trillion. In a nutshell. And at the same time, when you see about the 721, started, taking pace in 2017 and 2021, it impacted and created a whole new kind of industry altogether. So what I'll say, it's more complex, yes, but it is definitely something that one should not ignore, because it is more complex, primitive, and it will eventually bring a lot of ERC20. What I'll say is also important, but at the same time, 721, which you asked for, into the 404, and the focus is primarily here, obviously, to bringing the 721s into 404, but at the same time, there's new kind of 404 collections that are also going to show up. What I'll say here is it will shape new kind of DeFi industry. It will shape a new kind of trading industry. It will shape, or revolutionize a lot of industries altogether. There can be new kind of products for, community, hotel industry, VC DAO industry, influencer industry, media tech industry, and it is primarily, I think, more focused utility kind of primitive, which is coming up, and it will actually bring more users to Web3 as whole, which is very much required, the adoption kind of thing. So in a nutshell, what I'll say here is like the impact of 404 is going to be huge. We are just starting. We are just sitting on the brink of it, and working together maybe to shape this industry. But in a year or so, a lot of things where we see common utility standards like 20 and gate pass standards like 721 and various products. You will see everything almost nearly to 404. So the impact is definitely going to be huge. And I'm sure once the legal side is also, sorted, as Danny said, one can easily see the impact globally. Yeah. Thank you. Over to you, John. Thank you.
I'm here. Sorry, my mic was muted. I would have to agree with that. I think once we educate more people and get more community involvement, the landscape's going to grow a lot. So I'm going to ask Timson this next question. When it comes to the ERC 404 and NFTs, do you think that this trend is going to stick around, or do you think it's going to slowly fade away?
Okay, so I think the biggest challenge or bottleneck for ERC404 is the blockchain itself, because Ethereum, we have a higher gas fee than Solana, or even for Bitcoin layer 2 right now. So of course we have Ethereum layer 2 like Polygon or something like that. But the user is very need to compare to Solana other blockchain. So I think the biggest challenge for ERC404 to continue to grow, because Pandora or ERC404 was born on Ethereum, right? So that's what we are. So I agree with Dune 404 because we have to expand our ecosystem to these different blockchain, not only in EVM environment. We need to expand it like to Ordinal, to Solana. I'm not a programmer, so I don't know how exactly we can do that. But we need to keep expanding our ecosystem. And I think one more solution to solve all the attention problem is to create the biggest meme on 404. You know, in crypto, how can we drive attention? We just make the coin pumping, okay, to the moon, and then people will talk about it. You don't need to educate them. They will buy your token and then learn by themselves. So it's the very, very simple solution. We need a meme coin. I think Pandora have done part of a job when they grow over I forgot 10x overnight, so people get into it. And that's one of the reasons why I get into Pandora at the first place. We have to create a meme that can constantly pumping to the moon, and then people keep joining, talk about it, and then we make it. And then I think you can see ERC404, we have so many projects. It attract a lot of projects like out of a like marketplace, something like that. But we didn't attract retail investor, degen, some meme coin flippers. And this is the biggest part or the most important part in crypto, right? Because when you talk about out of a, you can you can fractionize your asset, but in return, you know, in crypto space is hilarious because sometimes meme coin will outperform most of the valuable or some of the project with good utilities, right? So I think back to the basics, we need to make a very good meme coin, and then it will become the best promotion in the space or for ELC 404. Yeah, that's what I think.
Yes, thank you for that. I have one question that what you just said leads me to for the ERC404 team. When it comes to like incentives for creators, collectors, and investors, what potential things do you see there with the technology?
Okay, so I think we will lead a marketplace for the ERC44 environment, because you know OpenSea Bird, they didn't fully support the ERC44, because when you play like default, like you play Pandora or some kind of meme on Pandora, sometimes we encounter a lot of bug, like we can't see the NFT picture on Bird or OpenSea, or sometimes the whole collection, even you cannot trade on OpenSea. So we have a lot of this kind of problem. And I know Pandora seems to creating their own, I don't know, own protocol or own marketplace to do it. I think we need it so badly. We need a platform that really fully support the ERC4 for technology.
You know, I think a big implication too is going to be like when you're considering like the regulatory issues surrounding ERC 404. I kind of want to ask Dune 404 this question. What do you think about regulatory consideration surrounding the ERC 404 space?
Yeah. So before I answer that question, I actually agree with Timson. I think the key moment is, my guess, it's either Pandora or some other token get listed on Binance and it goes to the moon. Or interestingly, I think you don't need to launch a new 404. You can like bridge and exist. Like imagine a blue chip NFT project or a huge meme token bridging to 404 and then mooning. I think that would be like the catalyst. It would get the attention of everyone. Okay, back to your question about regulation, right? So far, actually, I'm not too concerned because people have been selling, NFTs for a while, and they've been selling tokens for a while. And so combining the two, I don't think is too difficult. I think from a legal perspective, we consulted lawyers, right? It's like the major thing you want to be concerned with is whether it's considered a security. And if you're selling tokens directly for fiat, then it's like really risky. But if you're selling it as an NFT, then that's like totally fine. And then if the user decides to turn in token later, that's their problem. And then if you have a liquidity pool on a third-party exchange, now it's that exchange's problem, right? And so Uniswap is fighting a legal lawsuit with SEC, and we hope they win. And if they do, then I think a lot of the regulatory challenges will be solved. So not too concerned. We're combining two existing things and not creating something new. So that's my thought.
Thank you so much. I definitely learned a lot of technical side of things and also point of view side of things from all of our guests today. So definitely very valuable content, but unfortunately we have to wrap things up because we're running out of time. So make sure to follow our speakers on Twitter and also make sure to follow Pass. We'll be hosting here regularly, so stay tuned to know when our next Twitter space will be. I hope to see you guys next time, and thank you everyone for attending this discussion.
Thank you, everybody. It was good to hear from you all, and I agree with a lot of things said here tonight about how it's community and how we all need to educate each other. So I hope we can all get together and actually have more deep conversations with, developers and community members to see what we need to do from here. I also liked what Dune said about we do need a blue chip project. That would be a really good catalyst for the ERC404 community. So, keep looking for them and spread the word about it. It's great hearing from everyone today.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank
to
you.
everyone out there.
Thank you, everyone. Yeah, let's
Looking
get
forward
the
to it.
blue chip done.
And the Binance
Right.
listening to, I hope so, soon.
Right.
As
We will. I mean, soon, very soon.
Yeah,
Thank you, everyone.
that would be great. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.
See you next time.